In my previous video, we mentioned that for a small craft candle, only need to make a paraffin candle, demold it as usual, no need using pliers, then simply soak it in ice water, and the candle made with paraffin wax can be combined with the small craft design, providing us a lot of creative space in candle design. In this video, you'll learn how to make color blurring candles with small craft design. Prepare some wax tablet silicone molds for making color blocks. If you don't have silicone molds at hand, use baking paper to make some. Trim a piece of baking paper. Fold out the four sides by 5 cm. And then fold the overlapping corners inward. And secure them with paper clips. If you don't have paper clips, you can also use a stapler to fix them. For wax material, we go for paraffin wax with a melting point of 58 degrees Celsius. Heat the wax to 105 degrees Celsius, add candle fragrance oil and stir well. Then pour the wax liquid into a baking paper mold at 100 degrees Celsius at a height of 1 to 1.5 centimeters. Touch a small amount of liquid dye and stir it into the wax. Alternatively, you can dye the wax liquid in the melting pot, then pour it into the mold. Three to 4 colors can create a richer effect. Wait about 10 minutes for semi-solidification. The waiting time is subject to room temperature. You may touch and feel them. When they're still hot, but soft and resilient, demold them. The semi-solidified condition helps it easier to cut the wax blocks. Use a scissor to cut them into blocks of different sizes. If you want the colors to blend well, cut them into bean sizes. If you want the colors to be clear, cut them into knuckle sizes. Demonstrated here are knuckle-sized blocks. Melt some paraffin wax over medium heat. If you don't want any bubbles or natural flaws on the finished candle, you may add paraffin additive AC6 to the recipe and melt it together with the paraffin wax. Choose the acrylic mold you like. With the candle mold and seal the hole with rubbers. We also need to prepare some raw paraffin granules to intersperse the color blocks, which can make the whole candle look fresh. If your paraffin wax is of blocks, you can use white beeswax granules instead. Heat it to 105 degrees Celsius, add candle fragrance oil, and then pour 2/3 of the wax into the candle mold along the wick at 100 degrees Celsius. Put the cut color blocks into the wax liquid using a tweezers. Be careful not to splash the wax liquid. Sprinkle in some raw wax granules and intersperse them into the color blocks to make the overall color more refreshing. I don't recommend putting all the color blocks in the candle mold and then fill the wax liquid, as it may make the finished candle appear unevenness and small holes. When the color blocks are exposed to a wax surface, add some 100 degrees Celsius wax liquid to ensure that the wax liquid covers all the color blocks. I use gold foil to decorate the last layer. For this decorative feeling, you can use dry plants, shells, etc. Or you can skip this process, it's totally up to you. Before doing this, use a metal base to penetrate the wick and insert it into the semi-solidified bottom, so that the candle will automatically extinguish when it burns to this part. Use tweezers to stuff the gold foil into the mold. I suggest using pieces of gold foil for a better result. Mine are too crushed. When you finish, pour some 100 degrees Celsius wax liquid into the mold. Wait for solidification. The bottoms will appear shrinkage holes which are normal due to the natural shrinkage of paraffin wax. Use a heat gun to melt the surface and fill the hollows with the same wax liquid. Secure the wick and wait for them to solidify again. We've just used knuckle-sized blocks, now we use bean-sized blocks. This design is suitable for long pole candle molds. Likewise, if you don't want any bubbles or natural flaws on a finished candle, you may add paraffin additive AC6 to a recipe and melt it together with the paraffin wax. Like what we just did previously, pour some wax liquid into a candle mold at 100 degrees Celsius. Put the small blocks in and fill the wax liquid when the blocks are exposed to the surface. Remember to post jade a week. You can also sprinkle some raw paraffin or beeswax granules to make the color blocks look refreshing. Wait for them to solidify. Remove the rubbers and release the candle. Squeeze the candle mold and gently knock it. When you feel the candle is loose from the candle mold, pull it out. I didn't add paraffin additive AC6 in these two candles, so we can see there are white spots on the candle bodies. If you like this smooth effect, then they're done here. Here we reveal a technique of small cracks, adding a little more design to them. Normally, preparing ice water is enough. However, in winter, please prepare both ice water and hot water, as we need to warm up the candle body before soaking it in ice water. Put them into hot water first, and let the candle body warm up slightly. Then put them into ice water. We can see small cracks appear instantly. Continue to soak them in ice water evenly for around 3 minutes. If you want more dense and complex small cracks, repeat soaking the candles in ice water and hot water. When you finish, dry the candles. Please store the cracked candles in a cool place, otherwise the crack may disappear due to strong paraffin resilience, especially in summer. These two candles are made with knuckle-sized blocks and interspersed with raw paraffin granules. The block colors are obvious. These pole candles are made with bean-sized blocks. The shades blend well and naturally.